Dennis Foon, our guest. He is a screenwriter, a playwright, born in Detroit, escaped. I say escaped. Detroit's not that bad a city, but you were from the working class neighborhood and your formative years spent with a few race riots, perhaps, or what?
Well, it was really actually quite famous. I went to Cooley High, which was 50% black and 50% white, and the tension was unbelievable.
Were they busing you?
No, I walked. We were all. It was just literally the way that they would draw a line, and that's where the kids had to come from to go to the school.
Okay, I went to Abraham Lincoln, and they bussed us. They take the white kids to the black schools, thinking that we get along better.
Oh no!
It was very strange.
That's weird. Yeah.
I don't know who decided that. We liked each other anyway.
Right.
But somebody thought, it'd be better to integrate, and we already had, essentially.
Right.
In a certain way. Anyway, so take me back to Cooley High.
Well, Cooley was
Dennis Foon of Cooley High.
It was a crazy, awful place, actually. I mean, 3,200 kids in this old school, and the tension was huge. We all lived pretty close to each other, but there was a kind of one side of 6 Mile Road or the other, depended on.
Yes, and it was unspoken, really. We didn't, certainly in my school, I had girlfriends who were black, but we never went to each other's houses, and we certainly wouldn't dance with somebody at the dance who wasn't the same color as we were. We didn't even know.
Right.
Like, it wasn't that we didn't like each other, we just didn't mix. It was the strangest thing.
But by the time I was at Cooley, where things were there pre-riot, no one could talk to anybody else. If you were caught, if a white person was talking to a black person or vice versa, you would be in big trouble.
Right.
You could get beat up yourself for doing it. And even when I went to university, it felt that way to a degree.
Really?
Right.
You go University of Michigan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So disillusioned by it all, of course, but you said once, everything you know about being an artist came from your mother. How so?
Well, she used to sing opera to me.
She did?
No, I mean, it's a funny thing. My mom is, she went through a lot of emotional turmoil in her life, and she continues to do so, actually.
Right.
And
so a little high drama household, you?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think that
well, it makes good writers.
I guess so.
It does.
Well, at least it helps anyway.
Because you've actually seen it. You say, this sounds stranger than fiction, but guess what? I've lived some of it. Always good. Take me back to the film.
Yeah.
The director of the film, Oliver Schmitz.
Yes.
Schmitz, he's Austrian or German?
He's actually South African.
South African.
Yeah.
I thought he was, where did I get he
was
Austrian?
His parents are German, but he was born and raised in South Africa.
Okay.
And then he was a key person in film. He's actually called the godfather of the new South African cinema. His 2 first films were about the condition of South Africa just before apartheid fell, and he worked very hard to bring it down. But when he finished, when it finally did happen, he found himself not being able to get work, right, as a white guy, right, because the focus was really on trying to bring up the black filmmakers. And he ended up, to feed his family, he ended up going to Germany because he was a citizen because of his parents.
Right.
Started directing comedy in Germany, became Germany's foremost director of situation comedies. But he'd been to Cannes 3 times before, right? But he had, this is all he could do. And this film was his first feature film in 10 years. Now he's not looking back. I mean, he's got so many offers he can't.
I guess. Yeah. But did he do Paris Je t'aime?
Paris Je t'aime.
Paris Je t'aime.
Yeah, which was a series of shorts, and he did one of them, like the Coen brothers and all these fabulously, famous filmmakers. And there was this one film in it when I saw it that just completely knocked me out. It was this beautiful African story. And so I went home and I looked it up on IMDb and I went, who is this guy? I gotta know who this guy is. And it meant nothing to me. Oliver Schmitz, who's he, right? Yeah. And I forgot about it. 2 months later, Alan called me and said, would you like to adapt my novel? And he goes, there's one catch. I went, what? He went, there's a director attached. I hope that's not a deal breaker for you. I went, well, who is it? He went, Oliver Schmitz. I went, are you kidding? Sign me up, I'm here.
Oliver Schmitz, who you admired, how old is he?
He's 50.
Oh, so he's 50, so he's young.
Yeah.
And they'd said it's Scorsese directing or something. That would have been okay too.
That would have been fine.
That would have been fine. But as you say, this is, when you get an award and a standing ovation at Cannes, sets you up? Have you had lots of offers since?
Well, I'm certainly working on a lot of different projects. Yeah, I'm not. You know, I'm doing a pilot for a new series for CTV, and I'm a bunch of plays, and I'm working on a major miniseries as well.
And aren't you doing something with Michael Ignatieff's book? Novel, not True Patriot Love, his story.
Yes.
But that'd be a good story too.
Yes, I know. It's fantastic. It's called Scar Tissue, and it's based on his Booker Prize nominated novel.
Yes.
And I've adapted it as a stage play, and it's opening at the Arts Club in the spring.
Really? And what's it about?
Well, it's basically the relationship of two middle-aged brothers whose mother has Alzheimer's, and it's about really their struggle trying to come to grips with losing her connection to them, right?
So write what you know.
Yes.
Because I believe
He went through it,
Ignatieff has been through this.
With his brother, yeah.
With the brother, and so it's in novel form to protect the family a bit, which is great because it allows you to expand.
Yes.
Allows you to tell fibs and lies, really, when you write fiction, doesn't it? A little bit here, but throw some truth in for sure. What was this experience like for you, having done so much work, doing a film, or writing a film about it, this young girl whose mother is sick, and there was one great moment in the film where the neighbor says, well, because her sibling dies, right? And they said, well, the mother killed your mother killed your sister with her milk.
Yes.
Yes, and then the drunk father, and it goes on and on. But for you, what was the experience like?
Well, you know, it is kind of transformative to go to sort of the trip itself. Going to South Africa and talking to people was extraordinarily difficult. I mean, I can tell you one story that when we were sponsored by this AIDS foundation, this incredible AIDS foundation there, and I went into one of the wards to see the patients, and this woman was lying on the bed, and she was just skin and bones, completely emaciated. It was one of those horrifying pictures you see in the magazines, right? And you know, she noticed me, and she asked what I was doing there, and I told her, and she said, "Tell my story, tell the world."
Wow.
And I think that the most gratifying thing about this whole project has been that we did. You know, I can actually say it's been shown all over the world, and it's affected already. This film has affected perhaps hundreds of thousands of people, which is incredible. The other thing that's really means a lot is the two little girls, these two amazing little girls from the village who spoke in their own tongue, you know, because we really wanted to keep it very real and, you know, very visceral for the audiences when they saw it, so that you would be in the specific place and time. That after, the girl who played Chanda won Best Actress Award at the South African Film Awards, which is very prestigious in Africa.
And not a trained actor.
No, it was her first thing she ever did.
Time.
Yeah, and her best friend, who played Esther, they both are, they're not from the best situations in the world. It's an impoverished village, their families are, you know, whatever. And who knew what their future was going to be, right? They were both, after that, after the film came out in South Africa, they were both given full ride scholarships to one of the top schools in Johannesburg in South Africa, to train in the arts and to be educated. And they've just finished their first year, and they're doing fantastic.
That's an Oprah story. Yes, it is. So, Life Above All opens in Vancouver July 22nd. I imagine you'll be there.
I'll try to be.
Okay. Dennis Foon.